What up, my dudes? MX vs. ATV Legends updates on updates on updates, brother. Okay. So, this came out like a day ago. We got another update. Before I can even get used to the one before, we got another update, which is not a bad thing. This is definitely a good thing. Okay, so the three biggest things to this update is some more fine-tuning on the physics, okay, and they've also added the 2021 Fox Raceway 2 to the 2022 DLC Track Pass, okay, and then they also gave you some more customization and color customization options for existing sets of gear. That seems to be the biggest three pillar things this update right here. We're going to go in there and talk about this a little bit. This is the track right here that has been added to that. Let's see, there we go. I thought I could jump that little quad. Thought I could do that little quad, daddy. So, yeah, this is a big thing right here. They have continued to tweak upon all of the little, physics things. It's been a bit of a problem. Whoa, still got the pop-off system. That's good to see. I think they've definitely tweaked in and around that pop-off system a little bit since that last update. But, yeah, it's very interesting to see some of the, obviously the physics issues that have carried over from All Out to MX vs. ATV Legends, and how they've kind of navigated that a little bit. You know what I mean? I know there's some people out there that think that MX vs. ATV All Out is just better than Legends. It's just like a better game. I don't know where the hell that's coming from, but in my opinion, Legends is just a better All Out. That's exactly what it is. When you talk about the current, state of MX vs. ATV Legends, I think a lot of people that think that All Out is just straight up better than Legends, I really feel like those people just played Legends when it very first came out, and then they put it away and never played it again, so they don't really know how much the game has changed. You really got to play this game after all these updates, because it's been changing physics-wise in pretty much every single update for like the past 5 updates. The physics of the game has changed to a certain extent, you know what I mean? So, but they've really fixed a lot of those issues that were a big deal back in the all-out days, like the bouncing, when every time you landed, you'd bounce like you were on a pogo stick type situation. They've really tried to go in there and tinker with that quite a bit with Legends. And that right there is just an element that I feel like makes Legends better than All Out physics-wise, is just simply it doesn't bounce as much. You're not bouncing all over the place like you did on All Out, I feel like there's a little bit more of that railing the corner potential on Legends. It's got a little bit more of a grounded physics feeling to it. You know what I mean? And I even feel like this game has more of a pop-off system than All Out 2, which obviously makes it better. But yeah, this just feels like basically a slightly better All Out. This is like a slightly better version of All Out. That's what this game feels like to me. So, but yeah, other than that, with this update, there's just a lot of other minor bug fixes. I think they fixed one of the invisible walls that was on one of the tracks. I do know that the MX vs. ATV community manager actually commented on one of my videos I was talking about some invisible walls that they had on some of the MX simulator tracks, and he basically agreed with me in the comment by saying, you should build the track in a way to where you just don't have to have an invisible wall. If there's going to be some sort of unrealistic jump, or you don't want somebody to jump something, can you jump all the way to that? I think you can, bro. I think you can, bro. Smitty Boy needs to try to actually, suck down the T a little bit and hit that on the next lap. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I do believe that MX versus ATV is on the same page that I am with invisible walls, where it's like it's literally a pointless thing that you should never have on a track. It's basically just a lousy excuse for you not building the track properly. That's all invisible walls are, boys. That is all they are. So, by the way, be sure and look at having all notification bells turned on for the channel. Spency Boy about to start ramping up this shit again. We're about to start getting back into the live streams and all that stuff. Just got to get this fiber hooked up to the cribbo, bro. Okay, but it's getting very close. We're getting very close to all that. So just be sure you got those notifications hit for the channel. But anyways, so some other parts of this update would be like fixing some of the bugs where it was like not counting your laps and things like that. I need to remember when I get to that spot on the track. Whoa, there's the little QuickTime reflexy style animation that they added with the last update. That's still here. For sure. Okay. But yeah, it is nice to see some more of the color customizable options with the the different gear sets in the game. I haven't really even looked at that to see what has been added to that, you know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine it being anything too crazy. But, whoa! There's a little, I don't know what the hell that is. A little, hey, you almost thought about cutting the track, but you didn't, but we're gonna act like you did. Okay. So anyways, overall with Legends, it's nice to see MX vs. ATV just continuing to fine-tune these physics more and more and more. I honestly wasn't expecting them to do as much as they've done here. I just really wasn't. So that's a really good sigh of relief to know that MX vs. ATV actually cares enough to go in here and try to improve this shit. This means good things for the next MX vs. ATV game, you know what I mean? Because they will get to the point where they have basically should get to the point where they worked out all these bullshit kinks that we've seen with the MX vs. ATV physics, like since the MX vs. ATV Supercross and All Out days, especially when they got to All Out. That was kind of like the rebirth of this newer MX vs. ATV, kind of team. Woo, that is a huck daddy. I'm going to have to really think about what I'm doing there. But that was kind of the rebirth to all this. And then, Legends is basically, in a nutshell, just fixing all of the issues that MX vs. ATV All Out had. So by the time we get to the next MX vs. ATV game, I feel like that one can really be the one that has that potential to be, closer to like the good old days, like a Reflex style physics system. Still not saying it's going to be as good as Reflex by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to have that potential to be a lot closer to something like that. But let me go in here and actually read the patch notes of the physics changes just to explain it a little bit. Improve the accuracy of the tire physics significantly, English there, Spency Boy. Improving the ability to rail berms and hook up in ruts. Reduced instances of wrecks and bouncing when landing or going through whoops or hitting bumps. Okay. So it seems as if they've kind of balanced out the physics a little bit, where, it gets into that sort of thing where you change one thing about the physics and it may make this one thing better, but then it makes this other thing worse, so then you got to go in there and fix that. It kind of gets into that when you adjust the physics with every update, starts to get into that where it's just like, yeah, you can tone down this or change that or fix that, but then it almost takes another update to fix the other problems and bugs and issues that all of those changes from the previous update caused, so then it's like this back and forth cause and effect and fix this to fix that kind of thing. So seems as if they are just fixing a little bit of the problems that the last update caused, you know what I mean? Oh, it's a huck daddy. It is a huck daddy. But still nice to see the pop-off system there. I think that's kind of really dependent on the the dirt, how hard packy the dirt is. I think this is one of the tracks that feels a little bit more hard packy to me. But yeah, the bike's not going to bounce around on you as much in the roughness or in the whoops. I know they had it pretty extreme after the last update, but it still can. You can see right there. It was pretty extreme, actually. Woo, look at that right there. Okay, that's nice to see. So you can't just, randomly wide open over every jump on the track. That's a really good thing. But, yeah, so it's kind of one of those things of they were kind of adding more skill gap to the whoops a little bit, but it got to that point where it was, looking a little bit unrealistic when the bike would just kind of bounce on the whoops. It wouldn't necessarily have that naturalistic, arcadey sort of, blitzing kind of proper look to it, if you know what I mean. So it seems as if they've sort of ironed that out a little bit, but we'll see what happens with this game in the future. I just know one thing. If you are one of those people that played this game when it very first came out and you haven't really touched it since, this is not like the Milestone games. This is not like where when you first play it, they might go in there and add one more update in the entire life cycle of the game. They might, barely fix the physics just a little bit, and that's all they really do with the whole entire cycle of that certain particular Milestone game. That's not what MX vs. ATV Legends is. They have done update after update after update on these physics, so I could only imagine how different this game would feel if you had only played it when it first came out and then you put it down. It's going to feel drastically different. It feels different to me, and I've been playing it through every update. Granted, not like a crazy amount, because I'm kind of waiting to see when this game just gets to a pretty much basically a finalized physics point, and then I don't know if they're ever going to get to that. Kind of seems like they may just continue to update these physics more and more and more and more and more, but that's okay too. I would definitely, that's a lot better for them to be basically ironing out all these issues, seeing all the problems with the physics, trying to get it more grounded, trying to get it more rut railing, reflexy style. It seems as if they're slowly but surely sort of working towards that direction, and ironing out a lot of the issues and a lot of the things people complained about with All Out. Seems like they're slowly but surely just working towards that more of a reflexy feel. I obviously still don't think they're there yet by any stretch, but is this okay? That's a little jump right there. All right. So we can hit this outside. That wasn't the corner. Okay. All righty. Let's see here. But yeah, it is definitely more grounded than it originally was. I'll say that for sure. Let's see. Can Spency Boy do this shit, bro? There we go. That's what I was trying to do, bro. That's what a Spency Boy was trying to do out here, bro. Okay. So as you can see, there's some cool, bigger lines and stuff you can hit on these motocross tracks. If that would have been a modern-day MX Simulator RF track, there would have been an invisible wall there that you magically would hit that would prevent you from hitting that fun jump. The fuck are you doing, RF? I don't know. But invisible walls need to go, bro. I don't care what motocross game they're in. They need to go. I know they're on some of those MX bikes tracks too. Stop. That's not realistic. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the fun factor. It literally doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything positive at all. It just doesn't. So at the end of the day, there's some fun jumps and stuff you can hit in this game, which keeps you kind of engaged. Even for a motocross track, this has quite a bit of different, different kind of rhythms and different ways you can, alternate lines and stuff you can hit, depending on if you hit the outside or the inside, which is always necessity. This is a lot different than a lot of those MXGP games where you're just barely coming off of the ground and you're hitting every jump wide open the exact same way. This is levels above that kind of gameplay. This is way better than any MXGP game, you know, motocross track ever thought about being, as far as like rhythm complexity and different line options and things like that. It is so much better than that. That's a tricky jump, man. Even if you hit the outside, you got to get that right kind of clutch boost. But yeah, at the end of the day, good to see MX vs. ATV sticking with these updates, and that was just another one of them, bro. Either way, I'll see you boys on that next one later, dudes.